right, hello friends. How are you doing? It's 4:45 and I'm not getting back to sleep. I'm pretty tired, but it's just not happening. If you look, you can see, and I hinted at this last night, that node is still there. The swelling's gone down right here. I've got a little node right there that I can still feel it, but it's not quite as big as it was yesterday. Steroids are not a cure for my disease. It's treating symptoms. So my pain is much more under control. I haven't taken a Norco since yesterday, and for better or for worse, yesterday's video was mostly recorded under that influence. I got a first call from MD Anderson from the admissions department at I guess it was about a half hour ago, just before 8. This is my second day on the high dose steroids, and that's coming down, and the pain's a lot less, and that's just tiny little victories. That is not a cure. I mean, don't mistake that for a cure or anything, but it's something that's making me feel better, and that's a victory. I'll talk to you more. I told you how excited I was about, we've got an EV. So now we've got to find out how to work that whole infrastructure of how to get it charged and everything. So all that I'm going to try to do before my first appointment and before they admit me to the hospital or anything like that. So yeah, I've got a cancer journey, but all right, like I said, learning the infrastructure of this thing, we figured it out. There's one right here at the Cracker Barrel, and this is super close to Jana's hotel. So when she comes to visit me, she can just come here and have a cup of coffee, charge her car, and then come. All right, I'm here at Katy campus of MD Anderson. This is just a blood draw, and then I'm going to the main campus for the doctor's appointment. Parking garage. We parked as far away as we could because we got this rental. We'll see if we don't get dinged. I hope we don't. One thing I love about the parking garage here is they always keep it freshly painted. It seems like every couple of years they're always painting it and keeping it looking nice. I like that a lot. In the office, waiting for the doctor. All right, I just got done with my doctor's appointment, and we discussed all the things that could happen, all the different paths we're going to follow. I am going to be admitted to the hospital here, which I pretty much figured was going to be what happened. And they're admitting me because scheduling these tests, and it's going to be a PET scan and possibly a biopsy, and oh, I'm going to need a bone marrow biopsy. That's why it blocked it out. So, and they're always doing construction here. So whenever I come back, it's always just a little bit different. All right, so I think this is going to be my last update for today. It's just shy of, no, actually it's just after 3 o'clock. I'm obviously in the hospital. I'm all checked in. No tests have been run yet. It's 3 o'clock on a Thursday, so who knows when they'll be able. I've got a PET scan to do. They're going to go ahead and do that. The last PET scan I had was 10 years ago, and with CLL, it is such a chronic, such a slow-growing thing, and that's why it's hard to treat. It's not curable. It's so slow-growing, it didn't even show up in the PET scan. And if it does show up in the PET scan, then that signals a pretty significant change. Then they're going to do a bone marrow biopsy. And those of you who have had it know why I shudder. I was having one every 3 to 6 months. And then when I got on ibrutinib, I didn't have to have any for 10 years. So I'm kind of spoiled. and I am not looking forward to it. And frankly, it can be, if you get the right tech, it can be a very fast procedure. And I had a guy who I had a particularly bad one, and he said, "Hey, next time, just ask for me." And I did. So I had a guy here. But of course, if you're really good at what you do, you get promoted, and eventually he did. You know, I mean, that's the way it works. So he got promoted out of there to a different part of the hospital, I think. But anyway, it can be a short procedure, and with him, he was like a linebacker from on a football team. I mean, he was a big guy. He got in there, got it done, didn't mess around, got it numbed up. That's the longest part, and he'd get through the bone, draw it out, and it wasn't pleasant, but he knew how to do it without it being terribly painful, and it was fast, and frankly, it was a 20-minute procedure, and it just wasn't worth it getting sedated, because once you're sedated, man, it takes hours to wear off. That was a long explanation, but it's worth it to kind of let you know what things you're going through. Anyway, those are the two tests. We're probably going to, he thinks he does want a biopsy, and they don't do biopsies on weekends. So even if I get the other two tomorrow, I'm sure I'll get the bone marrow tomorrow. And I'm 90% sure they'll probably get me in on the PET scan sometime soon. But they don't do biopsies on the weekend, so I doubt that will happen until Monday, and I'll be in the hospital till at least then. I don't want to speak too soon, because the first steps will be the same no matter what, but that will be a worst case scenario, because at that point it's transformed from my chronic CLL to an aggressive lymphoma, and that's a whole nother thing. What the doctor said though today is that sometimes when you go off treatment, the cells can appear like that. So the questionable cells they saw up in Springfield, they can appear like that, and that's why they really like having their own lab people looking at the stuff down here. And you know, my doctors, all of my doctors, specialize only in my kind of cancer, so it's only CLL. These guys have seen everything. If there's something that they haven't seen, you know, then it's something that nobody in the world has seen, probably. So, and that's literal. And I've got a great team down here at MD Anderson, and it's why I came here. It's why I keep being here. I can't overstate enough that I do not feel robbed. I do not feel ungrateful. I feel extremely grateful. We had a bit of a rough time at the beginning. We didn't know if we were going to find anything that was truly going to work. You know, we tried FR, we tried FCR, and Dr. Keating, my doctor, was one of the pioneers of FCR. We did Revlimid, which was the next step that really he was touting, and then after that the ibrutinib, and the ibrutinib, I got lucky. It's just 10 years. I got to see all my kids grow up. I got to get my kids through school. I got to see them all married, and folks, I do not have a single regret. If it's time for me to go, I'm not ready, but I do not blame anybody, and I don't question the decisions we've made and how we've covered this treatment, or how we've carried out this treatment. You know, it's been the right thing. Thank you all for your thoughts and prayers. And a couple of you volunteered to buy Jenna a cup of coffee, and that's all we need. That really is all we need. My channel still doesn't have a Patreon or anything. That's not why I'm doing this. I just want my friends to be up to date on what's actually is one more thing I wanted to say. It's dinner time. I'm getting ready to order dinner, And if you've never been to MD Anderson's Cafe, oh my gosh, it is so good. Actually, you can still get brisket in the cafeteria because I did last time I was here, and it was delicious.